Questa spesa, questa non stare in hanno io mi spiace. Oh shit.
Hello, and welcome to episode 17
I'm bad, bitches.
of the Musically Challenged podcast.
I'm here to save the train wreck of the podcast.
Because if Mike and I
I'm
just...
gonna bring it back up to its once degeneracy. I'm gonna bring it back down to where it belongs.
I was gonna say down is the direction we're going. Surely.
Last week was unusually undegenerate, and I think I'm not sure if I'd like it. If it
boring and shit.
Boring.
Nah,
no one cares about your opinions. They just want to hear memes. They want to hear me talk about Jenkem banks. Zambian street drum.
Sam, stop it! You've been away for a week and you're already hooked on Jenkem.
Yeah, that's where I was. I wasn't actually revising.
There was no revision there.
Non-stop Jenkem.
Yeah, well, that's the excuse I'm going to use for the result I got in the fucking exam we did today. Fuck living, that's all I can say.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Alright.
Who needs to feel sad when you can just pretend to be happy for an hour and talk about hours? Help! Julian's holding us against our will.
Yeah, we just want to go home and cry. And
You are home.
I just want to go home and
We're
cry.
we're never home when you're in the vicinity, Julian.
Oh no.
I don't feel safe. I feel uncomfortable. I feel like he can attack at any moment.
You know, last week I was very courteous and wore joggers, so I didn't have a belt around my waist. But this week the jeans are back.
Oh,
so...
was that the reason?
Huh?
I thought you did it just because Sam wasn't here.
It was a coincidence, I think.
Okay, I think there's a correlation between Belt and Sam. That's what I'm saying.
No, you know that when I'm here you want to look your best to impress. Whereas when it's just Mike, you're just not bothered.
You just want to, yeah.
You just like get in, do the shit, get out.
That's exactly how last episode was recorded. That was the quality.
I guess so. I don't really have an explanation.
So Julian,
So Sam.
what have
So
you been
should
listening to this
Should we
week?
impose some structure, yeah?
Yeah. Couple things, or maybe a few things. I just played you a bit of some weird prog rock, jazz, punk, death metal, throat singing stuff
Those
from
are all the
from
genres.
Finland,
Yeah.
Yes.
courtesy of a guy who goes by the moniker of Utopianisti, like
Whoa.
Utopianisti, right?
Oh, I see.
And when Julian plays us these things, this is the point where I really like contemplate our friendship. I'm just like, what
This happens every week.
What has
That's when he
happened?
turns around on the bus and says,
like, "Hey,
I
guys."
found the most genre-blending music I could possibly ever find.
Guess
I'm
what
like,
I
oh.
found this week? You're not gonna like it, but you're gonna listen to it anyway.
I'm not forcing you to listen to it.
Well,
Thank God.
I'd off myself.
I honestly think you'd like it better than.
bass clarinet. Actually, you know, the 4
wasn't that
seconds you
bad.
played us was bearable.
It was pretty
Yeah.
funny.
If I'd played you some Converge, who are one of my favourite punk / metal bands,
remind
I've had
me
enough of that today.
You would have hated them.
Anyway,
Just come out of an analysis exam. You're talking about convergence again.
you're
fucking
getting triggered.
Had enough of that.
heckin' triggered.
I am triggered.
Okay, you would have liked it even worse because it's like
I would have liked it even worse.
you would have
What is
liked
that
it even
sentence?
less because
okay.
it's like probably the most like angry and brutal album I've ever heard. Screamy vocals, really loud wailing guitar.
Yeah.
Although you might like the drums because the drums are really kind of punchy, but that's about it. And then
I need to get used to screamy vocals.
You will.
And then
you will at
I
some point.
mean, you say that.
Yeah, you got used to Death Grips at one point.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that's because like he's bearable.
I think there's like...
He's bearable
I'm
now.
used-
He wasn't
I'm used-
before.
Like,
McRide is just like such a good. He's
He's
such
a
a
good
good
meme.
deal on the McDonald's menu.
it's true, it's true.
That you just
You got to go with it.
he's lovable. He's a
Well,
lovable.
one
man.
other thing I have to give a mention to is a group called Stars of the Lid, a duo. Rather.
Yes.
More like Stars of the Lit.
So
haven't listened to them. I don't know if
They-
they're good or not.
Well, you might know if they're good because
Yeah, there's a story here.
I linked you guys the album because I told you guys like
Well,
This-
looks like
this-
I didn't listen to it then.
this thing is like I think Mike can attest to this. Like
I can attest
was
to what I saw.
fucking speechless the whole time I was listening to
I was just on the bus home with Julian, and he put it on, and like he didn't say anything. There was like we stopped at one of the bus stops in town. There was a child shouting to his mum, and it was like everyone was like looking around, like what the hell's going on? He was like,
Julian.
"Mum, I'm upstairs," and Julian was just like, he literally was. He was phased out. He wasn't there,
Actually, yeah,
and it was
I-
like the most distracting thing I'd ever
Yeah.
seen. And like you did not like even bother to look up at the kid.
I have listened to this, or at least a bit
It's-
of this album.
It's like
Well-
half ambient, a little bit of drone, but plenty of like classical music and like minimalism influence. It's just
It's
Jeez.
it is top notch.
Yeah.
The first track has very sort of Skinny Fist vibes about it. So.
Yeah.
It's Skinny Fist.
Instant-
Alongside Skinny Fist, it's the
Instantly
only
sucked me
other
in.
album I've heard that is properly like made me cry. A
I was
lot.
gonna say you got emotional boys on the bus.
Other than Pink Season.
Well, Pink
Season
Season
by
made me
Pink
cry for other reasons.
I was just so happy it was here. I was just like, it's finally here.
God has blessed us. This day is good.
And it's an hour and a half long and there are 35 tracks.
It's longer than Skinny Fist, for fuck's sake. Like,
And more beautiful.
How can anyone bear that?
You know, you've got to give like
You have to live the meme.
You've got to give every joke song its amount of time. You know, like if you made Hot Nickel Ball and a Pussy,
Yeah.
50 seconds long, it just wouldn't be that good.
No.
You've got to make it. at
There are
least 3 minutes.
50-second long songs
Yes,
that are good.
Like, please stop touching my willy.
Which deserves to be 50 seconds.
great tune.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
It's a. But you know, we'll talk about that album sometime later. I'm sure.
I think
Much
we will.
to Julian's dismay.
I'll
talk about.
if we're gonna do it, I'll listen to it and I will make notes on it and then kill myself.
Jesus, so professional.
Thank God, finally.
So, Mike, it's your turn.
Haven't listened to much. We've
Alright,
been doing
cool.
exams. I listened to Flight of the Conchords.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Good lad.
that fourth best folk comedy duo out of New Zealand. They're pretty
Folk,
funny.
they call themselves.
Folk parody duo.
Folk parody. Okay.
Yep. I mean, their songs, they parody many genres,
Yeah, they do.
and they're pretty funny.
Pet Shop Boys one was very good.
Yes.
Yes.
What have you
Sam?
been listening to, Sam?
Just all types of stuff. Like,
Stuff.
because revision. So it's just like bit of rap. Just going back to old classics.
Yeah.
Rap and then Radiohead and then
Yes. Good lad.
Mountain Goats and all the good stuff.
Just Radiohead, just any kind of music which compounds the thought of just killing yourself while you're doing
Exactly.
Yeah,
revision.
yeah, that's
exactly.
what I do. I
Just
listen-
no surprises
I like
on
revise
repeat.
maths and listen to No Surprises on repeat.
Yeah.
Surprises.
Surprising.
No surprise.
Yeah, and then I muster up the courage to finally end it all.
Yep. Sounds about right. It's good music for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Speaking of not ending it all, because
Speaking
this
of
album
Radiohead.
is fucking lit.
Speaking of Radiohead, oops, that's not happening this week.
Whoa,
honey.
Mike. We'll give him the apology later, alright?
No, apologise now. You've been a rude boy.
Rude boy.
You-
So we said we'd do Radiohead this
oh
week.
wait, did we?
We're not
Last
going
week,
to do it.
did
Yeah.
you talk about us going to Clipping or not? Because I didn't listen to the podcast.
I know you didn't.
He didn't because you weren't present.
Yeah, why would I listen to anything which doesn't have me in it?
And is
And why would
made by
anyone
us.
else
Yeah,
listen to
I-
anything that doesn't have me in it?
I actually got some
one of the
feedback
wonders of
from
the
one of
world.
my followers on Symbol who was saying he was really enjoying how relatable the podcast was, and he was specifically referring to the episode where you weren't here. So,
Whoever you are, I'll find you. And I'll give you my flipping Jenkem, mate.
drug and it's a torture method
got
now.
Spray Jenkem into your eyes. Get ready, mate.
Jenkem bomb.
I'm actually going to Jenkem bomb your house, mate.
Jesus Christ. Google that one, kids. Google that one.
Just kidding. Thanks for listening.
Oh yeah, so Sam and I went to see Clipping live.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a thing. Oh,
Fuck! It was hype.
it was good, wasn't
It
it?
was hype.
Damn.
Hype as shit.
That's all that needs to be said, really.
Yeah. It was
Hype.
dank.
Shall we now get on to what we're going to talk about?
Yes, I think we should
Sam.
proceed to indeed.
To Joe.
OTJ3!
Motherfuckers!
Yeah.
Run the
Ooh,
Jewels
this- 3!
3!
I'm so fucking
Run the
hyped.
Jewels free by Run
Yes.
the Jewels. Oh boy.
Yes.
I fuck with this!
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was about to do
My
that before you...
my thoughts exactly.
Stole your meme.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Run the
Jesus,
Jewels.
like
Brief background on them.
They quickly dropped it on Christmas Day
Ooh,
at the end of
background
2016.
Background on Run the
Background
Jewels.
So
Run
we
the
couldn't
Jewels.
put it in our top
you
10 list.
ape.
Anyway, go on.
So it's a collab between LP,
LP.
and Killer Mike, two great rappers. They originally
Great rappers.
they started working together on Killer Mike's
2012 album.
solo album, and LP did the L production on it.
El Producto.
Yeah.
He's been doing the beats and the production for a long time.
Yeah.
Like since
And
the
he's
90s.
He's sick at it.
He knows what he's fucking doing.
He does.
And
Yes.
yeah, so they said, we're both lit, let's join together and become the most
Doubly
lit
lit.
rap group
Yeah.
out there.
You look at them standing next to each other and you think there's no way they could work together. But
And you're wrong.
then you hear the songs they make.
And,
Yeah.
and then you look at Killer Mike and you're like, how could he run anything?
He's a big
Yeah,
man.
he's a-
He's a big husky fella.
A bit chubby, a big
Bit of a
bone,
chubby lad.
but he's a great dude.
He is.
I agree.
And then they released,
Top lads now.
and what I love about RTJ is mostly the beats. The beats are like LP knows, like we said, knows what he's doing. He's making some
He
banger
releases
beats
straight fire.
every time. So
Every
good, in
single
fact,
time.
that they released only the instrumentals for their first album, just because people wanted them so much.
Yep.
And the rest is history.
Rest is history.
So they released Run the Jewels
One.
1, as it's now come to be known as.
And it's good. It's good.
Featuring the song Run the Jewels
Yeah.
from the album Run the
Run the
Jewels
Jewels
by the
by
duo Run the Jewels.
It's
Simple stuff.
good.
It's good. That opening track's brilliant, and the rest of it is good.
Yeah, and it's obvious that they're sort of getting their footing.
Yes.
And sort of working
Teething.
together, and you can see
Teething.
potential there.
The chemistry between them is starting to appear.
Yes.
And then they release RTJ2.
Oh!
Boy, some
They're
of the
heckin' lit.
best bangers out there.
Yes.
The track 2, 3, and 4 is the
Oh my.
best string of 3 songs ever created.
Whoa!
It's so lit.
That's quite the statement.
Whoa!
They're the most lit songs in
Oh,
a
it's
sequence of
just
3
so
I've
good.
ever heard. I'll agree with that.
Oh My Darling, Don't Cry is one of the best songs I've ever heard.
I can completely understand that.
It's almost up there with drones.
Ooh,
Heckin'
Up
boy!
there with drones. And,
That's some
and
lofty praise.
10 by Adam Killer, Pete Young Lee.
Damn.
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 Love
Damn, that's high praise.
damn, that's high praise.
Damn,
So
that's high praise.
RTJ2 was what I loved about it. It was really, really hard hitting.
Yeah.
And LP's beats, although they kind
was
of
like-
improved, they improved on the chemistry and the lyric
I was gonna
writing
say,
and
it
the
was
flows from the first
pure
album.
chemistry,
but
wasn't it?
the chemistry was so obvious, and they were just
Yeah.
working on
Explosive chemistry.
next
And you
level
can tell
throughout.
like all the videos of them, they're just like such good friends.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
they just, they make such good music. And
Yeah.
I said to Julian this year, because we knew that RTJ3 was coming along, I said, if they can do the impossible and make an album better than RTJ2, it'll be fucking hype.
Yeah.
And they did.
Oh boy.
Boy, they fucking did.
It's
According
for
to
me,
Sam.
Fuck.
Yeah, for me it's a
Oh.
pretty close run
It's-
race between the two.
It's just they've taken everything off RTJ2
Yep.
and just stepped it up a notch.
In ways,
In
yes.
ways.
in ways.
So-
I guess the market change for me is that while RTJ2 was like really, really hard hitting and aggressive and everything, it wasn't
Bangers.
as political as RTJ3.
Yes, that's true.
Thing is, I feel like RTJ3, what I love about it is the first half of it is very old RTJ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
And the second half is more political and more sort of emotional and stuff like that. But the beats are still there. The beats
Yeah,
are still
they
there.
are.
absolutely.
It
If
carries
you want,
itself
you
through
can
so
just
well.
tune out, not listen to the lyrics, and still have a bloody good time.
Heckin' good
just
time.
bounce into them beats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like
I
Big
agree.
Quint. He fucks with this.
That's one review. That's one review of RTJ3.
Oh man.
You it's saying
Amazing.
like
This-
about the difference between the halves. I still feel like Panther Like a Panther, which is part of the second half, is still quite like a throwback to the old hard hitting RTJ2 stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what made this album just like so much better was
Ooh.
that this album was supposed to drop today.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It was supposed to.
As we're recording,
yeah.
Is it 17th?
Yeah.
Was it 13th?
17th,
No,
yeah.
it was supposed to drop. I remember because I saw it and I was like, that drops the same day as our analysis exam. So when the
Damn.
analysis exam goes terribly, I can get out and go and listen to RTJ3.
Yeah.
You know, well, I guessed one of those things correctly, but I didn't guess
Yeah.
RTJ3.
Yeah, it was released on the 13th, not the 17th.
Being released for free on Christmas Day.
Bear in mind, they released their previous albums for free as well.
Yeah.
At launch.
But not on Christmas.
But not on Christmas Day!
Christmas miracle!
That
It's
was
a
like,
Christmas fucking miracle.
Yep.
Oh man, I was like, woke up, I was like, oh, it's Christmas. Check Facebook.
Yes.
And then Run the Jewels there, and I'm just like, oh boy.
What is good? Good.
And then, like,
Christmas.
you know, my family was like, come down, Sam, come and have to get presents. And I'm like, I'm listening to RTJ3. I ain't got fucking, I ain't got time
Down
for
the
fucking
stairs.
presents, boys. LP and Killer Mike have dropped
The biggest present of fucking decade, son.
banger album of 2016. I've got to listen to it.
Oh, it's so
I
good.
Sat in bed and just, well, I listened to the first 3 tracks and then I actually went downstairs and opened my presents because I'm
Like a social boy.
very gracious of my parents actually
And
buying
Santa.
things for me.
And Santa.
Oh yeah, and Father Christmas, of course.
Yep.
Because
Killer Mike.
Because I was a good boy.
Killer Mike dropping the presents down the chimney. Good lad. So yeah. So differences between this and RTJ2
Yeah, apart from
was
the
so high.
kind of slightly more political leaning of this,
of the lyrics, yeah.
I feel like, not necessarily because of that, but the beats are, in my opinion, slightly less hard hitting.
They're less aggressive,
Yeah.
they're less hard
There's-
hitting.
And I think the flows and
But
the
do you know-
lyrics match that a little bit too.
They do match that. But my opinion is that, like,
I mean, there's no Oh My Darling.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my!
Oh my.
They're like the beats on RTJ2 were very bassy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they
Like
were.
real
Oh,
bassy.
Play 'em
which
out
is
loud.
what I love about
Everyone will
them.
fucking love them.
And these ones, they're less bassy, but I feel like they've.
I
don't know, they've
I don't
They're
think
more
it's a lot.
varied, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
varied. I mean, you've got stuff like Cool Ticketron, which is the best song on the album.
Live from the garden.
Light from the garden.
Well, they use like
It's so like
It's
it's,
just like-
energetic,
yeah.
but it's not as hard hitting.
No.
And I think
yeah.
even though it's not full on like RTJ2 was, I don't think they've lost anything.
No.
But
No, definitely not.
It's just a change, isn't it?
I
That's
think
what it is.
LP's rapping has gotten better as well.
LP.
Oh, I love LP.
He is
Isn't it?
flowing.
Brings
now.
Yeah,
it
he
on
is.
that like in the because they released two teaser singles up to the release, which were
I think they released 3
They
actually.
released
So
3.
they released 2100.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to Me 2100 and
Yeah.
Legend Has It.
I
Yes.
forgot because I forget that 2100 because I always thought that wasn't going to be on the album.
Right.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't on the
yeah,
album
because we
either.
were like,
It sounded
this is
really-
political. This
Yeah,
isn't gonna
exactly.
be
It
on
didn't
RTJ3.
sound
Three.
like anything else.
He dropped it when they found out
When
about
Trump got
Trump,
was
yeah,
winning,
yeah.
So
and
we
it
were
was,
like, oh, it's
I mean, it's a very perfect song for that time, really.
It would
They had to
surprise me
address it.
if they had made a song just for that possibility that Trump would win, though.
No, I agree.
So I
But
guess
but
I mean,
the whole
they could have dropped it when Hillary won as well.
they could have.
yeah, that's the thing. It was the whole mindset of the whole
Yeah.
election.
Of just,
That's what they were
we've got a
addressing.
terrible president.
I know. Yeah.
It's like, oh,
I do love
we've
that
got
song.
an evil witch, or oh, we've got an Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty funny lyrics in it.
Yeah, there are some,
Lenses.
I mean, it's very obvious that they're not fans of Trump, shall
No.
we say?
Yes.
I mean,
I mean,
you know,
I mean, Killer Mike is
Killer
busy
Mike-
mates with Bernie Sanders.
Killer Mike and Bernie Sanders are pretty good
announced
friends.
Bernie Sanders on a.
And Bernie Sanders announced Run the Jewels
Oh
as
my-
well.
That's so
That's-
so cool.
How-
isn't it?
Yeah.
What? How is he not the president?
I know.
He's such a cool dude.
Because all the liberals thought, oh yeah, we're definitely going to win, aren't we? Because there's no way Trump's going to win. So
Yeah,
we'll just,
well,
it's just not going to happen.
We've
Yeah,
got
back to Run the Jewels.
Oompa
Oompa Loompa instead.
Loompa. But yeah, there's it's like on Talk to Me. It's like went to war with the devil and something.
In
He,
spray
yeah.
tan.
he wore
Oh,
bad to
bad to
pay
pay in a spray tan.
That's
Yeah.
just like
Sorry, I fucked up.
cheeky.
Oompa Loompa.
Oompa Loompa.
Cheeky.
That's so good.
But yeah, such a just so hype. I just get hype every time. It's so energetic and
I think-
fun and
see-
just like a good.
RTJ2 has been growing on me solidly because like when you listen to it, like the very first track Down, for example, starts a bit slower than you'd expect.
Yep, definitely
It's
does.
sort of more like a chilled out sort of thing, but like the complicated beats are there, so you really get like this is with later tracks
Maybe
especially.
that's it. Maybe the beats are a little bit more intricate on this rather
think they are.
than just pounding
Yes,
constantly.
I think so.
And I think there's definitely a
They're quieter,
difference
less bassy.
between RTJ2 and RTJ3.
Yeah.
And I think they're both fantastic. But
Yes,
I
they
feel
are.
like if you want pure like aggression, just braggadocious.
Yes.
We're the best.
Yeah.
Talking
We're the
about
best.
like drive-bys and driving fast cars down the interstate and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Prison riots.
Then
Yeah.
you want RTJ2, whereas RTJ3 is just like full-on energy.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, like
I feel like if they made another RTJ2, I'd feel a little bit shortchanged, I guess.
I
So
agree.
I'm glad they made a little
this was
bit
a smart
better
move, I
progression.
think.
Yeah.
It was well timed
I was
to address the
certainly-
political landscape and like things like that, and it was just appropriate for the next one, I think.
But yeah, there were definitely things that took me by surprise on this, like on the first listen.
Yes, same.
Because I sort of had my assumptions of RTJ3 is just going to be RTJ2 but better.
Yeah.
Much like RTJ2
Which would be very hard to
is
do.
RTJ1 but
better.
Yeah, true.
So it's
There's like a trajectory there.
It
isn't
sort of
there?
took me by surprise when the first track wasn't talked to me for one because I thought it was.
That was a
gonna be
single that had been released,
Yeah.
and it
It just-
seems like a really good start.
Yeah.
And I mean, it sounded like they're making a statement on that song as well.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
like they're whole announcing,
thing
like,
was-
I told y'all RTJ1.
Yeah.
I told y'all get on RTJ2. And you still ain't believe me.
Yeah.
So here we go.
That's the thing. It's like,
RTJ3.
it's like they.
Doctor me.
Doctor me.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So it was.
Talk to me.
talk to me. You want to live. Talk to me if you want to live.
Do it now. Talk to me. But
Get to
Run
the
the jewels
Bernie.
live at the garden.
Get to the Bernie. Anyway, go on, Sam.
The garden.
forgot what I was going to say now.
Live
Live
at
at
the
the
garden.
garden.
Put the cookie down. Sorry. Go on, Sam.
Put the jewels down. Yeah, even
There is no. Sorry, go on.
sakes.
Who
Who would have realised that a podcast after our first exam was really stressful? It's going to be delirious as shit. Oh yeah. Oh, I love that episode of the podcast. Yeah, that. Oh, what was the bit you really liked about it? Oh, was that bit where they all did Arnold Schwarzenegger impressions for 5 minutes? Oh yeah, I love that one.
Stick around.
Yeah.
Go on.
Basically, surprised me. That's.
Oh, okay.
This album
Right.
surprised me. The political bits, the emotional bits, as well as
Yes.
there was the hyphy bits, but I was expecting it to be hyphy the entire way through. Which, to be honest, I think is a good decision.
Yes.
That it's not, because it's like 14 tracks long, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a bit longer than the others, I think. Maybe not.
It
RTJ.
is. It's
Maybe
like-
it's maybe longer than RTJ2, but definitely the first one.
Yeah.
I think I checked. It's like 15
It's
minutes. 15 minutes or so longer.
It's 52 minutes long.
Okay.
Yeah. 51, Julian. Get your facts
51.
straight.
51
Yeah, boy.
something.
Wow.
And then Run the Jewels 2 is 40 minutes long. So it's a good like 10
Solid 10 minutes long.
minutes longer. So
Right.
if it was
At least
just,
we can still do
and I mean,
maths.
yeah, just about.
Yeah.
I mean, even
Triggered.
on RTJ2, like there were bits in RTJ2 which weren't
They
like
were much
full on
mellower.
aggressive.
Yeah.
So stuff like Early or
Yeah.
like Angel Duster at the end.
Yeah.
But then obviously there's
You
a
got a
higher,
similar thing on
There's a
here.
higher saturation, whereas this one is definitely takes a step back a bit.
But like I said, I don't feel like it's a loss. It's like less full on, right? But I feel like the tracks. Do you know what it is? I feel like the tracks have more depth a little bit.
Yeah.
Like there's more to find, and like more of like a sort of groove to get into maybe with the tracks, or like something
little bit,
there
yeah.
to
I
like
mean-
fall into to like really
And
get on the side.
once the album does that,
Yeah.
I might be jumping ahead a little bit, but
Well,
how unexpected the end was for me of the album.
Yeah.
Right.
When
Yeah.
out of nowhere,
Yeah.
Zach De La Roca pops up.
Yeah, he works
That's a
really
good
well. on
sneaky
this. I mean,
feature.
I think his feature on here is better than the one on RTJ2.
yeah,
I kind of agree. Yeah.
featured in the beat.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What have you that?
he does like it works really well on this because in this one you know, they're being very political and sort of.
That's what Rage are
And that's what
all
Rage
about.
Against
That's
the
what
Machine are about.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
about raging against the machine.
Yep.
So
Fight the powers
Makes
that
sense,
be.
kids.
exactly.
The powers that be.
So you know, it works so well when Zach De La Rocca shows up out of nowhere,
Yep.
even though they don't announce him to be in there. Just,
Yeah, exactly.
He just is.
just
And
comes
the song-
he's like, right, boys, I'm gonna be all like rebellious and shit.
And the song is called, well, the half of the song that he's on rather is called "Kill Your Masters."
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't have been any more blunt about that.
I do love that change, but it, like so the last song on the album,
So a report to the
shareholders.
slash.
Yeah,
Kill Your
Which-
Masters.
Yeah, it's really good because like
great.
a report to the shareholders is like quite an emotional track, sort of I can't think of the word. Contemplative track.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Quite hard to say.
It's a word.
Ooh, tongue twister. Done.
Contemplative. Yeah.
This is why I don't do English. And then it's sort of so that could have been the final track, as sort of talking about how you
Yeah,
know,
that could
it
be.
sort of it shows how much he respects LP and how much LP respects him. And
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
it's quite cute. It's sort of like
It is a
I
little
turn
bit.
around to Elle and I smile. It's like, oh, it's really cute. It is.
But then
But then
It
just
dies
out of nowhere,
down.
It dies
Yeah.
down, and the hype comes back. And
It's
I,
like a
I think that is
it's like
such
a transmission
good-
or like
that is, yeah.
like a broadcast. Like literally, it is a broadcast.
it's like
Kill Your Masters.
yeah, it's like an
That's what
army
it's
has
like.
taken over a national TV
Yeah.
station and
It's
is
so
broadcasting
good.
propaganda.
It's such a good like
The way it descends into that.
like choice just to
Yeah.
not do what like everyone else does and end on sort of a low
Emotional
sort of slow
boys.
note.
Yeah.
Just go, we're Run the Jewels, we're hyphy,
Hyphy.
we're gonna end on a high note and we're
True.
gonna get like
It does. It's like it ramps up. It's almost like you could almost like score a movie scene where like everything's going wrong to it almost. And it's
Shit
sort
hits
of,
the fan.
and like the political message there is pretty interesting. It's like the whole we're beyond like a loss of hope sort of thing. It's more like a just we need to
Dealing with it
fucking
now.
riot
Yeah.
now. Like literally like kill your masters.
Yeah.
Kill your masters. It's like
And
insane.
then kill yourself.
Well, okay.
will do.
Okay.
I intend to. But yeah, no.
Yeah.
Shout out to some good tracks, I suppose. Should we do that?
Yep.
Thursday in the Danger Room.
The one before it,
Second last
actually,
track.
yes.
Flow is another like really, really emotional cut.
I
and
feel
it,
like this
yeah.
could be a really good ender
it
as well.
flows perfectly into the first half of into Reports to Shareholders.
Yes.
And Kamase Washington's on it, who is a saxophone player, a
Yes.
saxophonist,
Aye.
and his
saxophone.
really,
Oh,
really
saxophonist.
smooth,
Pretty sure it's
almost
called saxophonist.
a saxophonist,
Cacophonist?
saxophonist.
Not
Sarcophagus.
He-
saxophonist.
He provides some lovely kind of buttery smooth saxophone line during
It is
during the
really
song, and
nice.
and LP and
This
kind of
song
Mike's like
Yeah.
lyrics and their flows, they're saying stuff like in triplets, and it's like really unrelenting what they're doing.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
almost like they've just like fallen out with one of their friends, or they're having a massive rant at someone that they really despise, and
Yeah, it's
they're
like a
telling this
barrage.
massive barrage of like
Yeah.
bad shit that they're talking to them about.
Yeah.
And I think the rhythm that they do
Sassy.
the flows in, I think it's the same as the last three lines of a limerick.
Oh,
We've
really?
got like five syllables, and then eight. So it's like da 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 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I should have done it haiku.
Should have done a haiku. That's
Yeah.
575.
575.
Yeah, should have done it
Ah.
like that. That would have been a good.
Well,
that would have been a good name.
there's the idea for
name.
RTJ4.
Yeah, just do the
RTJ4.
entire thing in haiku. Haiku J4.
Oh boy, that's a concept album and a half.
I mean, you know, you've got Meow the Jewels, so
True.
now you've got Haiku the Jewels.
Nice.
Stupid.
If it's just going to be this entire album, but all in with haiku flows,
haiku.
I'm down for that. I'd fund that.
Yeah.
I didn't fund Meow the Jewels, but I'd fund.
Was it a Kickstarter?
Yeah, people funded it, and they got like $20,000 for it or something.
Oh, surely they're
That
going
was
to do
so
one
good.
for Run the Jewels 3 now, aren't they?
We just need to
That'd be so good.
change.org. That's all like just
Maybe-
Kickstarter.
Maybe
Yeah,
this will be
whatever.
like Woof the Jewels.
Just bought.
Yeah, Fork the Jewels. It's just that pork. And then
Pork.
after that we'll do.
T. J.
Bark, 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 bark.
We just go like through
Heckin'
like
pork.
animal memes.
Snatch.
Yeah, so like RTJ5 will have snack the Jewels.
Snack the Jewels.
Oh
Oh,
lord.
that'd be heckin'.
Oh.
And then
There's-
RTJ6 will have Bleach the Jewels.
Bleach the jewels.
Be great.
Clean the jewels.
Looking.
Anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
so
other tracks that
other
we should
standout
give
tracks.
a
Well,
shout
I
out
mentioned
to.
Panther Like a Panther briefly because it's really banging. I think.
Yeah.
And
I don't like it as much as you do. It's one of the ones that's a bit of a like black horse.
I
black
think
sheep for me.
I think
I know
that
the
might
reason
have
why.
the reasons to do with where it's placed in the album, where it's amongst all the
Maybe.
political stuff, and it is
Yeah.
slightly less so.
I mean, it follows one of my favourite tracks, which is 2100.
2100.
2100.
Boots. I do like Boots.
Which is
Boots was on the RTJ2 as well,
He
on
was,
early,
yes.
and his vocals
He's
go
Quite a nice-
very, very nicely.
a nice good.
voice.
Contrast with
compliments
What a
them
nice
nice.
boy.
Good lad, good lad. Puss in Boots.
You got, hey kids, beat the rat. The rat's coming. Thanks for that, Danny Brown. Thanks for that feature.
Good contribution, you rat.
You know, I sort of when I first saw like RTJ3 feat Danny Brown, I was like, fuck. But he actually works on it.
My thinking is it's a good place for a sample. Like
Yeah.
you've just had the like full force of like the first few tracks, and it's like I think you need another voice at that point.
And
'cause
also,
it's
like-
that sort of thing.
Well, when I listened to Atrocity Exhibition, the
Ratrocity
ones that
Exhibition.
the ones that the rat was good on were the ones where he was like upbeat, hyphy things. Slow jam's not as good. When he's like being like he's full of energy, he's got a good beat behind him. It can sometimes work, and I feel like the first time I listened to this, not gonna lie, I laughed at his voice.
Yeah, I laughed as well.
It's-
I laughed.
Because it's just so silly, but it's
I can't get over it.
it's on further listens. It fits in there. I feel like I've gotten used to it.
Not for me.
I
I
still can't understand what he's saying, which is a shame because I think the first 3 lines are quite good. I can't remember.
something about Xanax, which is just
Yeah,
there's no Danny Brown feature or album or anything that doesn't mention Xanax or fentanyl or some other
Good lad.
drug. But my slight issue with
rat.
this song is
Rat
that
poison.
as someone who enjoys his vocal style, I wish that his vocals were
I
a bit
don't understand
louder
how.
because they're a bit too low down in the mix for me. And maybe that's
They're
why I
not low
couldn't
enough for
understand
me.
them as well. I know they're not like you just
talk about
get,
the last
get
low. They're
fucked
so
rid.
fucking squeaky, overpowered, they're louder than everything.
That's what I'm saying. They need to be hidden more. He just squeaks his way through.
Wednesday.
What was the sample at the end of that song? That
it's
just
so good.
summarises
It's like
my
shit.
feelings.
Yeah, the sample at the end is something
like a
going
kid,
You
yeah.
made my ears bleed.
Yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
He's a bit cheeky. Just be like, he knows that Danny Brown's a rap. He appreciates his style. But yeah,
That's what makes it acceptable for me. Yeah.
All right, so
overall,
I think
Ooh, I really
fucked up your album of the year list, didn't it?
a little bit.
A little bit.
Little bit. Yeah, it's
So many good songs on there.
it's just fantastic. I'm so happy that they, in my opinion, they took RTJ2 and just sort of
They changed it.
they changed it and they worked on
yeah.
and just made everything they could better.
They made
Like,
very
the
good
beats,
decisions.
The beats are
I think.
there are less banger beats,
Yeah.
but they're more like high.
The layers are so good.
You know, it's not bassy. You're not going to stick this on a massive subwoofer and just go like crazy like you would for "Oh My Darling," but these are still hype as fuck beats.
Yeah, they are.
And sort of after I got into the swing of RTJ3, I just couldn't stop listening to it.
I'm the same.
It's so fun.
I think it could.
It's so much
Personally, I still just about prefer RTJ2, but this could
I can
definitely
understand. I can see why.
this could definitely surpass it if I listen to it enough. But I've just listened to RTJ2 so goddamn much. that
yeah.
it's like what I think of now for Run the Jewels.
Yeah.
So
And it's probably still what I think of for Run the Jewels, because it's like their pinnacle of their thing.
Yeah.
This is like a change now.
Yeah,
And they've
this-
done it. They've made so many good decisions. And like I said, like the difference here is I think there's more depth with this album. So like I just
definitely.
love diving in. You know,
Yeah,
like
there's
songs like
definitely-
Stay Gold, I've just like recently just started appreciating so much.
GOLD.
It's just
It's
so
gold.
addictive. God.
Okay, Good.
So many good
So that one gets a pass. What about this?
pass?
Flying
What about
colours.
this next one?
Gets
Flying
a
colours.
first, not like me. Kill me.
What about this
I wanna end
next
my
one?
life.
What's this?
I don't know, Daddy. Please tell me.
Enlighten us.
This is like the indie rock album as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned. A
It-
classic.
The
It's a
indie
classic.
rock album and my favourite album of all time.
Yes, boy.
Arcade Fire. Funeral.
Funeral.
Yep.
Fucking hell, it's a good album.
Yes, it is.
So good. I love Arcade Fire.
Do you fuck with it?
Damn, I fuck with it.
Weird, but okay.
Stick on a bit of Kettles.
7 kettles and I'll fuck. That's what I say. That's my motto in life.
Excuse me.
Anyway, so yeah,
So yeah,
this album.
Arcade Fire.
Holy shit! What a debut!
So
What a debut album. They had
I guess we can just call them indie rock for sake of simplicity.
Yeah.
Indie rock band from Montreal, Canada. And as
That's
such,
in Canada.
there's some English, there's some stuff that's sung in English and some stuff that's sung in French.
Yes. Arcade Fire themselves are a big old group,
They are. There's
and
lots of
primarily
5, 6
comprising of Win Butler, who does the vocal performance, along with his wife, Regine.
yep.
So they're the two main vocals, the main voices
And then
on this
there's
album.
Win's brother,
Yes.
Will or something like.
He throws some vocals in, right? I think.
I mean, who cares? He's obviously the inferior Butler brother. So
Yeah.
don't matter.
Sorry to say.
They
He did not
themselves
win.
called themselves the Arcade Fire in these liner notes.
Crazy, because now
the
they're
weird-
just Arcade
The weird
Fire.
thing is, they're talking about the recording process here, and they say when family members kept dying during the recording process, they realised that they should call their record Funeral.
Yeah.
Noting the irony of their first full-length recording bearing a name with such closure. Because this is their debut, and
Yeah, I know.
it completely laid the blueprint down
Bloody
for
debut.
every
I know.
single bog standard indie rock album that would come out in future.
Yeah. It's true.
Man.
And it was importantly timed.
If this album didn't exist, I don't think Arctic Monkeys would have a career.
True.
I think that.
That's why I just went, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And like I say, many other bog
But
standard
like
indie rock bands. but
the levels of nuance in this album and like the lyrical content it discusses and like its timing and it's just so important in
Yeah.
so many
I
ways.
just want to make a quick counterpoint to
Oh god.
to Julian's little sassy bit about Arctic Monkeys.
Ooh.
I'd say that
Is it
Arctic
something to
Monkeys
do with
original.
Okay, well, if Black
first
Sabbath
few-
didn't make some
first
music, then they
few
wouldn't have
albums,
anything to steal.
Then, you know, Arctic Monkeys' first few albums aren't like they're more punky than they are
Humbug was
indie.
stolen from Queens of the Stone Age. Go on.
There's
now
not some
listened-
post-punk
I've
influence
now
on this stuff.
listened after listening to Queens of the Stone Age. I now understand Mike's point about
my raging
Alex
point.
Turner really wanting to be Josh Homme so
Yeah,
much,
pretty much.
But he's bloody northern, so he can't pull
It doesn't
off
work.
being
Yeah,
cool.
exactly.
Like you
No
can't.
Northerners are cool, not a
can't-
single one.
You can't be northern and
Sam's
have
point.
flipping slick back hair and shades and leather jacket. Doesn't work.
It's supposed to be
You go-
cold in the rain.
Like, all the time you go, hey, what are you buying? I'm gonna go to shops. That doesn't work.
Well, we've offended half of the Great British Isles, so that's
back to these guys.
Fucking listen to our
So-
podcast
Not
anyway.
true.
2004,
Except for the one I'm going
this
to
album came out.
bomb him.
Jenkem Bob.
Jenkem bomb.
If you're offended, Jenkem Bob.
Do we have to
yourself.
put that in the title now so that people will listen to it?
What, Jenkem?
Do we want to get every single person who's liked the fucking
Heckin'
Jenkem memes
Jenkem
page on
yourself.
Facebook to
Jenkem
listen to
bomb.
this?
That's less than our subscriber count.
Is it?
There's less people
Yeah,
liking the.
Oh,
Jenkem
that's
videos.
right, yeah.
25 people.
Why would we do that? That'd be a
Damn.
backward step.
Facebook.
That'd be backwards.
Yeah. Hey, I want to see 1,000-degree knife versus Jenkem.
That's the Jenkem bag popped open.
That's the title for this episode. 1,000-degree knife versus Jenkem.
Fucking hell. Right, should we actually talk about this album?
Yeah. So,
Rather than a pile of shit.
it's now
Gone.
14 going on, 12 going on 13 years old. Old enough to be a classic.
Yes.
Easily. And it
we
is
consider.
quintessential
Yeah.
for indie rock.
Very much
Right.
so.
Quintessential.
Kicks off with
Well, yeah.
a god tier song, in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
opinion.
Just
So-
The first of the neighbourhood tracks.
because they've got
Yes.
on this album they've got 4 tracks of the neighbourhood quadrille.
The neighbourhood!
I was gonna say compliments to
Win
Win
Butler.
Butler's lyrical
Yeah.
performance.
And vocal
He
performance.
yelled-
That's what I mean,
these
vocal
out.
performance. Yeah. Like
I was saying to Mike earlier, he sounds like he is constantly on the
Very-
brink of like tearing up
I agree.
massively
I
when
agree.
he sings. And like it comes off
And
as
it's
really
important.
genuine,
Yeah, no, it does.
really emotive.
He's really going for it.
Well, what I have to say,
And
like,
what makes it so good.
yeah, as a
Which is why when I told my
Oh.
friend to listen to Arcade Fire, when they go, "Oh, I only listen to classical. Show me some bands."
Yeah.
Here you go. Listen to
I mean, there's
listen
strings,
to
then
Arcade
there's-
Fire.
yeah.
Go for it.
There's many
It'll be
strings.
good. You'll love it. And she goes, "I don't like it. He's too shouty."
Oh, for God's
Oh,
sake.
mate, listen to Death
blah
Grip.
blah 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 blah.
Excuse
Not that
me.
phrase.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Out of the Neighbourhood quadrilogy.
So yeah, to give a
rank 'em, boys.
Rank 'em. Okay. Neighbourhood number 1. Tunnels is at the top. It is number 1.
I agree. Tunnel's got the most emotional hit for me.
Well, now let's dive down to the bottom. My least favourite, and I know Sam gets mad about this.
It's Kettles.
It's Kettles.
So we need to
Kettles
give
my favourite.
we need to give a summary. Like, so this album is sort of in two halves, and I've got a
Yeah.
theory about why. So there's these 4 tracks that are all titled Neighbourhood number
Number.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they've got
What? 5?
oh,
4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Excuse
Sorry.
Boy,
I was getting ahead of myself.
all
1,
of
2,
the
3,
maths
4.
ability is gone from you today.
I'm
they
so
weren't there
tired.
in the
Kill
first
me.
place.
Ooh.
Get back.
So yeah, so they got Neighbourhood 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. And those are the track titles along with their actual titles in brackets, sort of thing.
Yeah, so you got Tunnels is number 1.
Tunnels is number 1.
Kettles
Followed-
number 4, as we briefly mentioned.
Followed by Leica, which is number 2. Followed by Power Out, which is number 3. Followed by Seven Kettles. And yeah, they are.
Fantastic.
They're all
Similar
very,
ilk.
very anthemic. They're all very memorable.
This is what I was. My sort of thing.
Very
My,
emotional.
my thoughts about these tracks are that they're also they're sort of like setting the scene for like what I've sort of described roughly in my quick notes as like a Shakespearean tragedy sort of thing, almost.
He's convinced
to
about
be
this.
pompous. No.
Let's go! Come on, Mike!
I'm not
I've had some of that.
Oh, I've missed this.
There was none of this last week.
What I'm saying is a metaphor. I'm not being literal. I'm not saying there's a Shakespeare plot in these neighbourhood songs. All I'm saying is there's a level of tragedy, right, in this album that these first 4 songs set up. And they set it up because it's all these factors that go on into people growing up in neighbourhoods.
Yeah.
And they cover them in these first 4 tracks.
enough.
The later songs then address like the actual emotional weight of it and how Win Butler is feeling currently when he's writing this album as a result of the previous things that have happened in his neighbourhood. That's my thoughts. With the word Shakespearean thrown in.
Fair enough.
Is that pompous?
I don't think so, because I think it's the emotional core of the album,
Okay.
which is a pompous way of saying.
We'll roll with that, Mike. We'll
So-
allow you that one.
Yeah. So yeah, like I'm saying, so I feel like this album covers a lot of like you could say modern tragedies sort of thing. There's a lot of things that get addressed, emotional problems that people have in the modern age that hadn't been discussed very much before this album. I'd like to say, and we'll get on to them.
I feel like maybe if you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm trying to get at?
Yeah, I
'Cause I'm
feel-
not very good with words.
I feel like-
which is why I threw Shakespearean in, right? But do you know what I'm getting
That
at?
is pompous.
What?
Come on, Mike. It's like, oh, I'm dumb, so I'm going to start saying big words to sound smart.
That's me. I'm fucking dumb. I have no idea how to. I listen to an album that's got more nuance than I do, and I'm trying to express it. That's the problem, right?
Nuance, Mike. Just calm down.
That's what I'm trying to say.
He's going for it.
Shakespearean and
Oh, the Christmas jumper's off. Come on, Mike. Show us what you got.
I've just told you what I've got, and
More
you
pompous
dismissed
words.
everything.
No, I see what you're
more
getting.
pompous words.
No,
Come on,
no.
Let's go.
I see what you're getting at with Leica.
No, yeah, okay.
Because
Right.
the lyrics,
Good camera.
it's kind of like a tale of a rebellious family member, kind of in a
Yeah,
way.
and Neighbourhood 1 is the first one. Tunnels is about running, like it sets the scene for 1, the neighbourhood and the distress of it, and 2, running away with a
Yeah.
lover, like and like wishing to just get away from it, like you know all the problems in the neighbourhood and
Fair
your
enough.
family and things. So it's like you set the scene, and then you have Leica, which is to do with. It seems like it's to do with a sibling, right?
Yeah,
Or
an older brother.
an older brother called Alex. I assume. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And the title of the track, fun fact, Leica is the name of the first creature in space sent up by the Russians. It's a dog called Leica who was sent up into space to orbit the Earth and died of heat exhaustion because they had no intent of getting it back. So that's a fun fact for you.
Fun
Factoid.
for all the family.
Fun.
Yep. But yeah, that's the sort of
Means that dinner's sorted.
emotional core of the song
Wait for it to come
is
back down.
the like. I feel like
Have
it's
yourself some nice dog.
Yeah.
cooked dog. How the Russians like it. Yeah, so I feel like the first track is running away with like a loved one sort of thing, and the second one's like dealing with being thrown out into the world and
Yeah.
with, like no one looking out for you, like no all these like expectations and things. It's that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Those are the first two neighborhood tracks, and then interestingly, they're
In
broken
the
up.
middle,
Yeah.
we're up with Une année sans lumière,
Yes,
A Year Without Light,
yes. So it's French for "You Without Light."
and there are plenty of French vocals on this
And
thing.
I believe this is the song that addresses the huge amount of loss that I think many of them have gone through producing the album.
A Year Without Light, it does sound
It's
like it's
very-
hinting at
yeah.
some sort of
It's
a
like
light going out in their life.
exactly. It's like they
whatever the
had
phrase
this
is.
neighborhood quadrilogy planned, right? And then they're trying to get it done, and they
And then
had
all of a
this
sudden,
terrible
in the
year.
middle, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like this has to break it up, sort of thing. Like this is just an event that's happened, and it's sad.
And what I said about a lot of indie rock bands going on to be very heavily influenced by this album.
Yes.
In the last 45 seconds of this, there's some very kind of steady, kind of bright guitar strumming,
Yeah.
which is accompanied by a really
It's very
kind of...
interesting, 'cause
It's like a
it switches
post-punky
up,
bass
doesn't it?
line,
Yeah.
but like...
Because it's very sad throughout, and then it
Yeah,
switches up.
the flavour of that guitar and that bass together, I like when I heard it, I thought to myself, God, I've heard so many other bands, like newer bands, who have played their songs like that sound so much like that.
Yeah.
And I'm curious as to whether Arcify were the first to do that kind of thing. But I don't know.
They're certainly one of the most influential in terms of
This album,
in terms of the indie
Absolutely.
scene. This album is one of the most influential sort of things.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So then,
Power Out.
quickly next we have Power Out. Yeah.
Which used to be my favourite neighbourhood song.
I can understand why. It feels like the sort of I don't know,
They're all
apex.
just so good that you
They're
can't.
all-
It's so difficult to choose between.
I agree.
They're all like on that level.
And I can pretty much almost extend that to the whole album
Yeah,
as sort of
fair
good
enough.
songs. I can see why it's your
I
favourite
like-
album, to be
yeah,
honest.
Kettles is my favourite.
So Kettles is number 4.
It's like
yeah.
his sort of the vocals and his singing is just like so emotional. It's just so sad.
Yeah, they are.
It's just like he sounds like so hopeless.
He needs a hug.
He does.
He needs a big old hug.
Him and Tom after singing No Surprises and him after singing Kettle should just go hug it out.
Yeah.
Mostly because then Bjork will get jealous. And then
Wait, go on,
And-
continue.
love Tom, and then we let the magic happen.
We'll have little Tom Bjork children. Tom Bjork.
But then what if Win gets jealous and decides to like...
If he
like-
joins in, all for the better.
That's
all I'm saying.
He doesn't get Bjork. Tom gets Bjork, and
It's
he'll-
true.
He, he's a big, strong boy. He'll defend Bjork.
Good meme. So yeah, Seven Kettles it quite literally samples a kettle boiling.
Yeah,
right?
you're getting
And
like
it's-
emitting steam. Whatever.
and it uses the kettle as sort of a metaphor for like,
It's
things
definitely the
boiling
most.
over,
It's
and-
definitely the most laid back
yeah.
of all of
It
the
feels like a kind
neighborhood
of
songs.
like summary.
boys have all got.
It feels like a kind of
his
summary of
vocals
them.
are more of a
Like,
centerpiece of it as well. I think because
Yeah,
the
they are.
instrumental's quite laid back. You get
There's like bits of violin.
Yeah, the strings,
It's
I
he'll
really
do a
like how
verse,
folky the
He'll do a
strings
verse,
sound.
and then the strings will sort of take you
Yeah.
off, and then it'll come back, and then he'll do another verse.
And then every now and then
It's like a smooth
he'll
summary.
do a weird kind of like whimpery sound.
Yeah,
for it.
he
After a
does.
verse, he'll go,
and then it's like really soft.
Yep.
yeah.
So I feel like this one's like obviously it's the fourth and the last one of the neighborhood songs, and I feel like it's a good song.
It does feel like a closer to something.
It does because it's very general about the neighborhood. Like it says about like death and birth sweeping through the neighborhood and all these things just happening. It's sort of like a I don't know laid back or sort of summary of the whole
just
thing.
good like round off of the quadrilogy.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
And then we have the second half of the album,
Which is I'm not sure it takes on a different like general tone or anything,
It
but
feels like it. It's,
This is what my theory
Instantly
was,
hits you
which is
when-
why I had to use the word Shakespearean. My theory was that the neighbourhood songs. I know you're laughing at me. The neighbourhood songs were, like I
tilting
said,
my head at you.
like basically explaining the formative years of the band, right? The neighbourhood that they came out of,
Yeah.
and these songs
Childhood.
here is like their current predicament, their current emotions, their current feelings,
Fuck,
and you can
fuck
trace.
I'm old.
yeah.
Oh, not
Feelings,
that.
life.
It's not I'm old. It's more
Exams.
like you trace the like
Fuck analysis.
the emotion back to its root in the neighborhoods and stuff. So yeah, we have Crown of Love, which is the first song of the second half.
It instantly, like,
I really love Crown of Love.
After Neighbour, it brings you up after Kettles. It sort of lifts you
does.
back up because it instantly is with you got the nice piano and sort of
It's a nice piano.
upbeat-
This song really is interesting because at the end of it goes even higher because it has a disco moment with all the sort of strings.
It does a little bit.
It's almost
actually.
disco, isn't it?
Yeah.
With the mix of the strings in there
weird.
and the sort of it just develops.
And the
out of
drumming.
nowhere.
The drumming is quite like. Yeah, it's like quite dancey.
It sort
I see what you mean.
of bursts out with disco at the end, and it's like, but like
I would stick it on at Prees.
But interestingly, like the emotional core of it's saying like, "Oh, I'm dead inside," sort of thing. Like, "Oh, I've lost this crown of love. I'm sort of empty." Even though it's, but like at the end, like I said, there's an optimism there. So it's like
A little bit.
interesting.
A little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we have the track that they play at every live performance.
I was gonna
And
say this is the.
I want to see them
this is
live
the big,
just so I can hear this live.
Is this your favourite song from the album?
No,
It's not.
But it's a
Okay.
solid.
but I feel
solid
like
song.
seeing it live would be one of the most amazing experiences ever.
Sure.
Just like the most
Wake Up.
anthemic,
Yeah, it is.
wonderful indie rock thing, and all the times they always throw out those big balloons that you like.
Yeah.
Like whenever they like
Oh,
zoom out
God,
from
yeah.
Glastonbury and everyone's
see
like,
everyone's-
jumping out.
A giant boulders.
Fun fact: one of the violins on this
Fact
song
one.
is played by a woman called Sophie Trudeau, who was the
Is
only.
that fact true though?
Who's the only violin playing member of Godspeed You Black Emperor,
Ooh.
and
Connections.
a couple of other, because both from Montreal.
That's
A
true.
couple of other Godspeed members are also listed in the liner notes as having helped out.
Very cool. Very cool.
But as far as I know,
to hear
You can hear
that.
it.
a violinist actually played on this album, so that's cool.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So yeah, Wake Up's very fun. It's a sort of maybe the crowd pleaser, but I think it's on purpose.
I feel like it is quite
I feel-
anthemic, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying. It's anthemic. It's sort of like
another
a
one to-
broadcast to like a like all this generation that's sort of a lost generation sort of thing.
This generation.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
Yeah.
It's
I was
anthemic.
actually shown the song where that sample comes from with the "This Generation."
Oh yeah.
What's it from?
can't-
Impeccably done, by the way.
I can't remember what
love
it's
that
from, but it's like it was.
Sorry.
God, I can't remember the
Uh,
name of the
obviously
song,
it
but it's
doesn't matter.
basically like a reggae group
Of course it
of like teenagers,
Oh, teenage.
And
Yeah,
it-
they sound like very
and
young
it's like
vocals.
"This generation rule the nation."
Yeah.
And then they
Pretty cool.
go off and
Sample.
it's not a fantastic song, but it's good fun. It's not as good as the actual
Staying in that kind of
generation.
region of the world, in the Caribbean.
Yes.
We're gonna get to the next song.
Caribbean.
Ruben.
Haiti.
Anyway.
So there's a bit which is sung in French on here, which I
Yes.
think alludes to the fact that Haiti was under French rule at one point, and maybe alludes
I
to
know-
the Haitian Revolution, which is coincidentally also what Toussaint Louverture from To Be Kind is about. 'cause
Oh, okay, really?
That's where the name comes from.
Crazy.
I'm not sure if he was called Toussaint Louverture, but they took the song name from the guy who fought the French. in
I read
Haiti.
somewhere
That's
that
interesting.
Regine had somehow some relatives that came from Haiti. I think that was
Oh,
some
okay,
reason.
sure.
So they took that route.
I mean, she
and
is
then
singing
took
on it,
inspiration.
so-
She is the one
Yeah.
singing on this one. Yeah, it's just a sort of nice track. Sort of got a weird cooing sort of.
No, it's a
background
really
instrumental.
pretty instrumental.
That's-
I really like the piano melody.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really like that.
I like it. Yeah,
That's all right.
I do
Thanks
too.
for that, Julian.
That's all right, Sam.
We might get content ID matched for that because
Yeah, that was
Because
pretty.
it was just
perfect.
pitch perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Pitch Perfect
And then-
3 coming to
As much as I like Regine's voice on
Oh.
this song, I feel like the vocal melody isn't quite as varied or as memorable
Yeah.
as some of the other stuff, and maybe they're a little bit too quiet, and I can't
Yeah,
quite make out what
I
she's
think so.
saying, but she makes up for
I
it
was gonna
later
say
on in
she
the
more
album.
than makes up for it. I was
Later on in
gonna
the
say
album,
that.
so we'll get on to that. What? Rebellion Lies?
Rebellion Lies.
I don't know what to say. They're all bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
They're just so fucking good. This is why it's my favourite album of all time. Because there is not a single song where I go, oh, this bloody song. No, I listen to it the whole way through and
Yeah,
just
it's
enjoy
true.
myself and enjoy the emotional roller coaster it takes you on.
Yeah.
And like,
Very nice.
you know,
Shakespearean
yeah,
emotional
you're
rollercoaster.
talking about this fucking Shakespeare tragedy. To be honest, I've never actually like sort of listened that deeply into the
lyrics.
The lyrics before.
Okay.
I just love the way it sounds.
Fair
It's
enough.
just like
Well, I will say I
perfect,
feel like the sounds perfectly encompass the lyrics as well.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and you
the lyrics, they set an emotion for the song, but I've never really, I've never really got around to like actually like listening deep into the lyrics, which I think I just don't do on many things.
That's fair.
But I just, this album's so good. I was like, why have you got to talk about two of my like favourite albums when I'm tired, Julian? I mean, you know, I'd rather be talking about this than like
everything's my
things
fault.
I don't like. Yeah, it is. Everything's your fault.
Everything.
Julian. Drink, please.
This tangent does some justice to how good Rebellion Lies is and how hype it is. That's good.
It's,
It
I
is
can't
very good.
form words about how good this album is.
Now you see how Mike feels.
Yeah. It's Shakespearean. The nuance.
You know, I'm trying to get at Shakespearean tragedy. I should have just said tragedy, to be honest.
You should have.
But like, I wanted to highlight that it wasn't just this is a tragedy like set thing, because obviously it's called funeral, right? It's going to be quite obvious, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to use the word Shakespearean
You want to get Billy Shakes involved.
to highlight that the music makes you shake.
So the music. So the podcast listeners went,
Oh, hey, he's knowledgeable.
I knew it was a tragedy, but how is it Shakespearean?
No, do you know when the thought popped into my mind was when I was listening to Tunnels, the first track, and it was like a sort
It's
of
very Romeo and
star-crossed
Juliet.
lovers thing. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, ooh, maybe I'll use this word. Totally regret it now.
Yeah.
Want to fucking kill myself. But,
Please
you know.
Yeah.
Swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So,
should we conclude on the last track?
how does Regine make up for it?
Oh boy! So the last track, In the Backseat, Regine performs a hell of a performance. It is just so good. It's like a sort of confessional piece, like sort of not an emo way,
Shakespearean?
but
No, definitely not an
Is
emo
it a
way.
Shakespearean
no.
confessional piece?
It's a quoting Macbeth. No, it's basically like I feel like this.
Is a good song.
Is a good song.
This is a very good song.
I'm not
come on,
I'm not
Mike.
going to say what I've written down because you'll just take the piss. So
Read it.
No, it's just
read it. I'll read it then.
it's just that, right? This song sort of interestingly goes against the grain of the rest of the album a tiny bit, because the rest of the album's like, I've had all these like obviously troubles that have been rooted in neighborhood and growing up and all these modern tragedies, like I said, right?
Yeah.
But this song is almost like, well, it's actually okay because like now I know why all of these like rules have been enforced on me when I'm growing up and stuff. Because like now I'm an adult and now I'm in this position of power. I understand that I've actually, like as she says in the lyrics, been learning to drive my whole life.
Yeah.
And you know, this whole song is about preferring to be in the backseat. You know, taking the
Liking
easy
the peace
route
in the
taking
backseat.
Yeah, exactly. Which you know.
It's how the song sounds, definitely.
It is how the song sounds.
And I appreciate how it builds up and towards the middle.
And her performance is excellent.
Okay, my one complaint about this song
Okay.
Not enough sharp
is
sound.
that when the guitars and the drums and everything else come in, they crowd her voice out a little bit too much, and I can't quite make out what
I don't
she's
care
saying.
because I love when they come in.
But
the way that they come in,
after when they do come in, it sounds great. And
they bolt in like the guitars like come in like a fucking. It's like
really
Johnny grabbed the
heavy.
guitar and was like, it's
First
2.0 and fucking smashed it down. He's a madman.
And then her vocals build up, and up and up, and dare I say, when she's holding like one of the last notes, which is really high pitched, just before she goes into like a vocal range that I have no hope of reaching, she sounds a little bit Bjorkish.
Ooh,
That's why I
did
liked
you
it.
did you perk up your interest if you know what I'm saying?
Something perked
Is
up.
that
You know
is
what
that
I'm saying?
even-
You know what I'm saying?
Goes full double
just
jump.
with how like commanding and expressive her voice is?
Oh, my Icelandic princess is here! Yeah!
Bjork's taking the wheel.
I wish I was in Bjork's backseat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fake taxi. That's what Julian wants.
You're gonna have to explain something to me now.
Fake tax. Fuck my life.
Julian's in the backseat of his fake taxi.
What the fuck has my life come to?
Anyway, right. This is completely ruining what is an actually
Very,
beautiful
very,
song.
very good song.
It's a very beautiful song, and it's a really good album closer for something that's such a flipping strong album. Oh boy, I just love Funeral.
You just love it.
I've come to
Better
agree.
than
I've come
any
to
other
find.
funeral I've been to.
Yeah,
Have you been to
agreed.
one?
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if I went to one, it
best
probably
one out of
wouldn't
one.
probably wouldn't be as good as that one.
good.
Yeah, they're not fun. So yeah, this album.
Plus you have to wear black.
Yeah, it's
That's
true.
crap.
It's not your colour, is it?
No, not in the
ain't.
slightest. No.
Look, I'm wearing a thermal because it's flipping freezing. I don't choose what colour the thermal is.
Yeah.
If I
Mine's partly blue.
That's
If
a-
I
that's-
got
do
if
you know
I
what
got a thermal in white, I'd look like a knob, wouldn't I?
You look like a knob now.
Yeah, I know.
That's a
but like
funeral.
less of a knob.
That's a funeral thermal.
Yeah, well, it's partly blue like mine. Less of a knob.
Anyway,
No.
I think this is
You're wearing it, so it's even more knob.
Yeah.
this is my favourite Arcade Fire album by
Yeah.
quite some way. But obviously Arcade Fire just so.
Yeah, I've heard that
more
complaint from a
idea.
few people that like their one complaint with Arcade Fire is that they've never bettered their debut.
Yes,
But I mean,
but I think the
don't
debut is
think
so personal.
it's so good that you can't be ashamed of not bettering this.
Yeah, I was gonna say like this album is so ingrained in like what they were growing up and stuff that like you can't
Yeah.
reproduce it following it. Like you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like
So
I feel like they kind of tried to do something similar on the suburbs.
yeah, the suburb feels like a suburb feels
and
like a sort of
it's still good, but it's just it won't reach this level.
I
Mostly
agree.
because it's a 10.
yeah. This is a 10 album.
10 out of
Agreed.
10 out of 10.
10 out of
It's a
10 out of
it's
10.
easily 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and then you've got Neon Bible and Suburbs and
Reflect.
Reflect.
I like Reflect.
Now Reflect's alright.
But yeah,
It's
there's
just,
different sounds.
it ain't Funeral.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not much is
Not many
as good as
things is.
Funeral. So,
Only Jenkem.
Only Jenkem is as good as Funeral. I'm happy I
The
said
way
my
it
piece,
burns my
even if
mind.
you scoffed at it. I'm happy I said.
yeah, we did. Okay, so next time.
Next time.
No, next time.
So we're going to talk about an actual new release, a 2017 release,
An
the
actual
first
album.
2017 release.
Whoa.
We're going to hear, if we can call Run the Jewels 3 a 2016 release. 'cause
Well, I mean,
Because
it
it
is
was.
because it was released on
even though
Christmas
the
Day.
official release date for the physical was 2017.
That's the physical. You can listen to it before. Anyway.
So we're going to be listening to and talking about the new Flaming Lips album, Oxymelody.
Thought we were
Oxy
gonna
Melody.
Talk about Pink Season.
Yeah,
Soon to come.
Soon to come.
we'll get there.
Do not worry. Do not worry.
Yeah,
your pretty
Flaming
little
Lips.
Best album
reviews
2017 so far.
Yeah.
One of my favourite.
Will be the album
Yeah,
2017.
well, it's inevitable.
I trust you on that one.
Explain your
But
things.
Flaming Lips, one of my favourite psych rock bands, I guess.
One of your favourite.
Have a very, very good track record, and they
Thank you.
released a new album, and they decided to get Miley Cyrus involved, and we'll
fave.
talk about how that turned out next week, and then Sam's got a
Shakespearean
nice, you got a
tragedy.
classic lined up for us.
The classic next week will be All Hail West Texas by the Mountain Goats.
Yes.
Boy, it's good.
I know you've
So-
been badgering us to listen to them
I have
a
actually
lot.
listened to it
It's
once.
yeah.
I
I think
want to listen to
if
it.
I quickly find that because the album artwork explains it very nicely. It's 14 songs about 7 people, 2 houses, a motorcycle, and a locked treatment facility for adolescent boys. Just
Okay,
Says it all.
just a
it's like a Shakespearean tragedy.
it is.
Hey,
This is
I
a
stand by that.
Shakespearean danker. No.
That went downhill so quickly. Like you realised.
Yeah, I was
There's a
like-
point where you're like, oh,
No.
it's not gonna work.
Dankity. Oh,
Dankadoo.
fuck.
What Dankadoo? That sounds.
But basically, it's the
Dankadoo doody. I'm confident booty.
arguably the best Mountain Goats album, and what Mountain Goats do best is just make these amazing stories, put them into songs, and then
Yep.
you just experience them, and it's fantastic. And you get 14 of them.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Okay.
lovely.
So we'll look forward to talking about those next week.
Certainly do.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Ciao.
Bye bye.